DJC Game Studios. Wow, we are back.
What's going on?
And I got Rich from Bacon Ice Cream here.
What's up?
We have a couple guys running late, but that's okay. I have Next Level Gaming and the Retro Advisory Board on their ways. But
Good
Rich,
stuff.
it is great to have you here. This is this second stream with the last 24 hours. I think that I've seen.
I don't know what's happening. I'm just
You're just
popping up
over on
everywhere.
NLG yesterday doing stuff.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I want to let you guys know I am going to debut. I'm going to stream, kind of on this stream. I'm going to stream the Amico live. So I have fired up a brand new game, and
Nice.
I am going to show some footage of that, and I'm going to play through a game for you live. So the first time you ever see Amico being played live ever,
That
right
sounds
here on
good to
Amico
me.
Forever.
Let's do it.
So anyways, while I have you, because I know you're a little limited today.
Mhm.
Let me say hi to chat real quick here.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness, the Amico bro is here. Woo!
What's up?
He is just commenting like a storm. Thomas Bryan says this is where all the Amicos hang out. Yes, Thomas,
Hey,
and
come
it's
on,
very
Thomas.
good to see you. Very good
What's
to
up?
see you. Amico bro is here. After Burnett is here. Good to see you, After Burnett.
How's it going?
Adolfo, how are you? How are you? Mike Garcia, can we say it's a bad update? Absolutely. We just don't want to threaten or be mean. Just yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are a little disappointed, a little frustrated.
Sure.
I want to shed some light on a few things. And yeah, it's not a ship date, so I understand. Yeah. Anyways, Mike, good to see you. 68 Camaro is in the house.
Nice.
Let me go down here. Casey, what
Hey,
is
what's up,
happening,
Casey?
dude? Good to see you. Silly Club members coming in here, by the way, just to let you guys know. Please join the Silly Club. Just hit the join button. That's all you need. It's got weird emojis and a bunch of other weird stuff. The original Next Level Gaming, but you're supposed to be here.
Yeah. Where are you? Let's
Gosh,
go.
darn you.
Let's do this.
ADM 712. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Kurt Bradshaw. Did I already say Kurt Bradshaw? No, Kurt Bradshaw's in the house. Good
How's
to
it
see
going?
you. There's a lot of Amico, bro. I missed that intro. Yeah, dude, it was kind of nostalgic to see that, to hear that tune again. Lance Jennings, dude, good to see you.
Nice.
Blood and Teeth. It's been a bit. Good to see you as well, all aboard the Amico train. Support the DJC and Astro smash the like button. Hey, I like that. Let me hear 1968 Camaro. Did I say that? Am I repeating myself? I don't know. And StashNet. StashNet's cool.
Well, hello.
That is awesome. Skiing and biplanes make me sad. I want to play them now. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I have not played biplanes on my pilot unit. I played it with Rich actually out in Philly a couple years ago, which was I don't know if that was complete back then or whatever, but it was fun to play. And I know we were playing we were playing duel, like the duel where you get like the saber on the end and go through the planes.
Yeah. It's definitely good times. Oh, whoa. You got all sorts of stuff happening.
Yeah, good times with Retro Rich.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch up here. Claudio, good to see you. Metal Torso, Silly Club member, thank you for stopping in. Good to see you. Really good to see you. George Games, another great guy
Hey.
of the channel.
And Good Times Club.
You get a great guy and friend of the channel. Look at this guy.
There he is.
The Retro Advisory Board.
What's up, gentlemen?
What is happening? Salvador.
I am glad we are here to discuss that PlayStation showcase.
That's it.
Is that what we're here for? I told
the band
I
back
said
together.
that yesterday. I am ready when you guys are. The new PlayStation, I got it right here. This was told this is brand new. That it just came out.
So,
Yes.
So I take this and then I stick this onto this, and then I got a thing I can play my games on, right?
Patrick Burnett, thanks for joining the Silly Club. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very nice of you. That you are awesome.
Bacon ice cream. I don't know. Do they have a name for it? Is it the Q? The Q, is it that like Project Q? Do they have a name?
Yeah, Project Q is to be determined.
Okay.
They didn't actually announce the name.
Television lives, by golly.
Yeah. Here's the thing: we don't know what we're calling it yet.
Yeah.
I do have Alzheimer's. I keep reading the same people going, welcome, and the same names. Detroit, my brother in music. Good to see you. Casey, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Rich rocks. Good times tonight.
Thank you, sir.
See, I'm catching up.
That's good stuff.
Mike
Casey's
Garcia,
awesome.
Potion, dude, how are you doing, man? I hope the health is well for you, man.
Yeah, for real.
Last time I talked to you was probably on like a couple months ago when we went on spring break. But good to see you, Potion. Thanks for stopping in, man. I think we're getting down here. Yes.
It feels like 3 weeks.
I gotta support
2.5 weeks. 2.5 long weeks.
Has it only been 2.5 weeks? It feels like it's been 5
2 months.
It's been 2 months.
It's been a while.
Monster, Silly Club member. Monster is always join us for the lunchtime streams and the classic stuff. Whatever happened to Geeks of Cash, he looks different.
Yeah,
he is not on the panel this evening. He has prior things going on, but hope to get him back on soon. But no, we have Rab, we have Bacon Ice Cream Productions. Yeah, you
must be this guy.
These gentlemen, these great looking gentlemen, and then we'll have NLG joining us. But anyways, now that I've caught up with chat, I'll let the chat there talk. Be civil. Now, just so you know, and I think everybody knows this on this channel. No attacks, no screaming out stuff, or if you hate the topic, maybe don't watch or don't engage.
You can whisper gently in our ears. You can prod us a
whisper
little.
gently, but you start getting a little unruly. The bouncers will probably warn you or delete your comment. That might be a pretty good thing to look out for. But yeah, please be nice. Follow the rules I posted at the beginning. Anyways, so. Later on, I want to get into some stuff while we have Rich. Later on, like I said, I already had mentioned, we got a few more people showing up. So we are doing the first ever live stream of a brand new Amico game that you may or may not have saw. So I will be doing that momentarily.
Very cool.
So let me pull up our topics.
Nice.
Was there an email update that dropped? Does anyone know about this?
I don't know. Maybe something came in an inbox and people read it.
Like us to have topics.
Yeah, I know. It's always off the cuff here is what everything is. But as far as this update, Rich, what was your take on it? I know you talked a little yesterday, but I know this week we have a totally different, bigger audience here that's been waiting months to see us. And so what is your take on this?
Yeah, so I mean, we hung out a little bit on LG, and I threw some thoughts out there. 24 hours later, I think I still hold to the same thoughts. The update email to me was, there was a little tinge of the sads. It was a little little disappointing to see that there wasn't as much progress as everyone hoped there would be. But in the grand scheme of things, it's the same thing 24 hours later as it was last night. Okay, you didn't have the progress that I think everyone was looking for. And everyone, of course, was hoping, oh, hey, we're back, guys. Here's some pallets. That's really what the hope is, right? Yeah. But okay, so that didn't happen. All right, well, what else you got for us? Okay, we've got some contingencies.
Still got pallets.
Yeah.
Well, you take just the pallets. You could carve. We might have carve your wood grain.
Send you anything.
that was terrible. Sorry.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, so that's the bummer, but the non-bummer is, after that last update, we get another update. They're still around. They're still doing stuff. There's, moving and shaking. There's news. There's news that is breaking actually, even like as that show was happening last night to now. More stuff is happening that we're probably going to talk about in a little bit. So there's movement, right? There's movement, and that's fine by me as long as the feet keep moving forward to doing something. I'm all right. I'm okay with
news
that.
in the neighborhood.
And I stand by the statement I made last night as well about what this is all about for me, and it's always been about the games themselves and the experience that I can have right there in that room over there with my boys. And as long as in the end of the day, somehow, some way we get that experience in there, then I'm okay with whatever it is, and at the same time, it's another one of those things where it's like, well, it's some people will say to me, well, that's easy to say, like you don't have XYZ that you've been waiting on for forever. And just like last night, I mean, nothing changed for me in 24 hours. I still have an insane amount of pre-orders for consoles, for this thing. I've got a lot of stuff, out on the table, for them. I've given Intellivision a lot of money, and they're like, here's my stuff. I'm still waiting. I didn't pull back on any of it, and I don't intend to. So like, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that. Just like, and then I made the other analog. It's like, oh, well, this isn't just about Intellivision. I'm still waiting. We were talking about this last night. I'm still waiting for my Polymega, and I'm still going to wait for my Polymega because, they say they're going to, they're going to ship by, July to October, maybe. And I'm like, but I'm still, I'm still in because I want the thing. I want the Polymega for different reasons than I want the Amico, but
Casey's got 6 pre-orders.
See,
I got
almost. We're right there, neck and neck. I got him by 1 or 2 more. But
this chat is a good 40 to 50% of their pre-order list. So
right.
hold tight, everybody.
Hey, what's up,
Maggie?
Hey,
can't wait to see you. Cannot wait to see you.
What's going on?
Thomas is still waiting on his play date.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you wanted to order one today, I mean, if you wanted to order a play date today, isn't it like the lead time like almost a year or something?
Yeah, he says he has 4 pre-orders in. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of delays for the bigger systems, and they've worked through a lot of their supply chain issues. The smaller systems are still kind of getting through
hit
with
it right
what
on
they
the
can.
head. I would guarantee that no one has more pre-orders than C-Mart.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Maggie. John Alvarado in the chat.
Hey,
the real John Alvarado. I have confirmed.
That's right.
Only slightly more late than me, John. You're
Oh,
good.
Monstar. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much, man.
Oh, the Golden Axe Warrior. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That was an epic journey.
Luckily I can play that, emulate it, but like I bummed. That's the only reason I'm bummed I don't have a physical Sega Master System anymore, is to play that game, because I didn't really know how great that game was till I watched it on your channel. And
that was a great time. That was an epic adventure, and thanks everyone for hanging out and doing that, because that was a cool thing.
I recall passing up on that one when it was like $65. Like a lot of these games like $5-10. I'll get it later, and that never happened. You don't forget that sort of pass up.
That's a whoops. So
but anyways, so Rab, I'd like to hear what you thought, like I guess that when this popped up or dropped the other evening, and like kind of what were your first thoughts after reading through this as an update, as a fan.
I've got pages of thoughts on this, but let me just kind of go blind for you. A disappointment at first. There was a lot of hints, and I think I know a little bit behind the scenes of some of the stuff that they were trying to do, and hoping that some of that stuff would line up and fall through. And, to get to this point and not have a production date is disappointing. There's no way around that. We've all been waiting. We all are hoping for this thing to launch. I mean, we've got some people who are hoping that Intellivision collapses. It's a great story. It's entertainment. but a lot of us who are following this and, want this
Mhm.
system, want it to come out, want to be able to play and have this experience, you'd want to be able to see that, yes, we're able to go into production for at least, the Founders Editions or some part of the Founders Edition.
Right.
So that initial, just, over the past 18 months, it's been very difficult. We've had internal and external things that we've gone through. It's just disappointment right there. Reading through, I think I found a lot of things that were very interesting to me. When I look at something like this, I look for, I don't necessarily look at the language they're using because I know they don't have a communications team right now. This is coming from Phil and the team. So it hasn't been filtered to kind of, I don't want to go through the weeds of specifically what they said by using this word versus another word, but there are clues about what the company is doing in what they put out that I found promising. For me, the most promising things were, look, I've been covering this system for talking to people on these shows for 3 to 4 years now. And, in hearing Tommy's presentations on it, it's very much they had a goal of what they were going to do. They have their 10 tenets, their 10 commands. Like this is what Amico is. This is what we'll never do. We promise we'll do this and this and this. And, where the rubber meets the road, some of those plans start to fall through. You can't follow up on everything you want to do. You understand that. And the willingness to let certain things go and to be able to move in a different direction when you have to, the ability to be flexible and to pivot and to, to change something up if it's not working. That always I struggled with Intellivision. So to be able to see in this, the fact that they do have ideas about how they do want to pivot, they still have this console that they want to put out. And I know a lot of people have talked about, oh, they've given up on the console. They're moving to like a mobile app or something. I think reread carefully what that email says. It says, the controllers are part of their plan moving forward. The console is part of their plan moving forward. What has changed is that they're not putting all of their eggs into the console basket. I think they are distributing sort of their avenues because they don't have someone that is funding the last leg of them getting into production. They need to have a couple of avenues. I talked last year about when everyone was saying, "Oh, they'll be bankrupt in a week. They'll be bankrupt in a month." It was like bankruptcy watch every week.
Oh, the last 3 years they've been saying that, yeah.
Well, not the last 3 years, but since they saw statements coming from the
Start engine,
the failed start engine.
No, you're right. Yeah.
SEC documents. They you kind of got a glimpse of time of what their finances were, and people don't know what the rest of the story was, like what they've done since or what they were doing before. They just saw what that moment is and what it looked like the health of the company, and the company has made changes since then. So I like the flexibility that I saw there. I like the fact that they are putting some of these games, not all of these games, but some of these games on other systems. I like the fact that they are looking at different ways to get the content to the games to us in novel ways. And I know people are saying, oh, it's just mobile. PS Remote is mobile. Game Pass is on iOS and Android. That's mobile. My Switch is a mobile device. It's running on a mobile-based engine and a mobile-based chipset. It's custom. It's more powerful in some ways. In some ways, it's less. My phone is pretty powerful. The fact that they are looking at novel ways to get this out and the fact that they are looking at mobile, I'm impressed with, because that I think is going to open up doors for them that I think they've not been looking at. That's my long take, and I'm sorry I've missed a bunch of chat. I know people are like, Rab, you're talking.
I just want to say thanks to Casey again for another super chat, and hi C-Mart, it's great to see you. Hello back.
Yeah. Hey, man.
See, this is why Rab didn't want to come on with us last night. He wanted to hold all this in.
He's got a lot, and I'm loving it. It's like it's like when you cork a bottle for 2 months. And
I've just fizzed out on all of you guys. You know what it is? I am so upset. Sony straight up stole that IP. We saw that Foam Stars. We all know Sony stole that on that play. That was straight stolen.
That was
Sony.
Well, that wasn't Sony. That wasn't Sony. That was Square.
I know
Enix.
that was Square, but he
Yeah.
was on a Sony. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Square.
No,
fess
you're
up. You straight up
absolutely
stole
right.
that from Dig. Fists of Foam. You stole it.
Nice.
Panda
Calling you
Sub,
guys
we
out.
wish you well. I know you're
Yes.
resting and
All right.
you're under the weather of sorts, and I wish you nothing but the best, my friend. Rest up, be well, so we can get you on the show or do some streaming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. Anyways, so Mike, now that you're here, what I know you kind of talked about this. If you want to maybe just kind of recap a little bit, doesn't have to. I know you had a whole thing on it yesterday, but
yeah,
what was your first impression when you saw this? Hey, this email dropped. As an Intellivision fan, what were you like? Disappointed, or were you kind of like, I understand? What's your thought?
I mean, I can be both, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
yes.
You can't be understanding.
Yes, I can be understanding, but I can be frustrated and disappointed at the same time. And look, hey, thank you, Amico bro. The more I keep going back and forth on this, I said it last night, and for those who I know a lot of the folks here don't watch NLG because we also cover. I mean, we cover Xbox, PlayStation, and all that stuff, and that's not. I'm not taking and not throwing any shade at the wonderful folks in the chat, but that's not their scene. So, a lot of people missed what I said yesterday.
We will be reading the CMA statement word for word
Yeah.
for the remaining 2
Yes.
hours of the
Okay,
show.
so Activision Blizzard. No, seriously. I understand what the situation is, and
Yes,
we
Nelda.
talked
Yes,
about
it was.
Yes, we talked about it.
Little Artie.
We talked about it yesterday. Look at the landscape of who's having issues making hardware right now. Atari has dumped their hardware. Polymega having trouble making their hardware. Playdate having trouble making their hardware. The Analog Duo had to raise their prices $50 so that they
So
can
did
make their
Playdate.
hardware. And Playdate raised their
Playdate had
prices
to do
too.
that too. Yep.
We were after we talked about the Amico yesterday. We moved on to the PlayStation Showcase, the horrible PlayStation Showcase it was today, but also the financial presentation that they put on. And if you looked at fiscal year 2021, Sony had their worst fiscal year in the last 10. And because they couldn't make the system fast enough. And so people don't want to invest in hardware right now, and everybody wants to buy the content, right? They want to put out the content because the content gets you better margin, the content gets you better sales. Now, as far as the console itself goes, the one company
Agreed,
who
George.
wants
Yep.
one company who wants to put the thing out can't get the money to put it out, and that is a shame. And in the email, they said there were exactly Spider-Man 2, which is day one, and Snake Eater's coming out on Xbox, so it's a multi-plat.
That's the way it is.
They literally
I think
said
multi-plats apply to tonight's conversation too.
Oh yeah,
Very
yeah.
much
We'll be
so, very
getting into
much so.
multi-platforming. That's for sure.
very
Like,
much so.
a
Very
few
much
games,
so.
not all of them, but a few are going to be on
Yeah.
other platforms. But that's going to help bring going back to founders.
Revenue.
That's the whole
Right.
goal,
Right.
Or
But
at
the
least
email
one of them.
said there were external and internal issues that compounded together to create this issue. We all know COVID is a factor. Anybody who says, "Oh, you can't count COVID," you didn't see Microsoft, Sony, and the rest how they struggled. So imagine you're a small company struggling, but internal factors too. It just created a perfect storm of
Yeah.
where they are today. So what do? Chuck, and I'll ask you again. You and I are still piloting. You're going to show. I'm so glad you're going to show a game tonight because
Yeah, we're actually going to. If anyone didn't know, more people are in the chat now.
because
We are
they didn't-
streaming. We are going to stream a Amico game live, a real one for
'cause
real
I know a
on
lot
the,
of people
on the
didn't watch-
system.
I know a
Astro
lot
smashed.
of people
Astro Smash.
I mean, I could do Astro Smash, but I think
But
people have
why?
seen that
When
enough.
everybody's
Next
seen
week,
that?
next week we'll do Astro Smash.
So,
This is gonna be. I'm gonna play a game of like 501 or 301. 301's probably better because you don't want to see me play forever. I'm gonna play against the computer. Oh, it's Dart Frenzy, by the way. So I guess I just gave it away. It's Dart Frenzy, my friends.
Bad name. It should have been Dart.
Dart would have been great.
Dart. So,
All
That's
the
a
games
new-
should have
it's a
kept
new-
on theme.
It's a new one, Saggy. It's a brand new game we
Yeah.
never saw. But I've been me
well,
and
they
Mike have
haven't,
been testing it for the
'cause-
past like 3 weeks or so. Maybe.
yeah. Well, they most of them
What's
haven't
up,
seen it
Sneed?
because they didn't
Hey,
watch the
Sneed.
show last night. So you're in a great position. They didn't see it, so they're going to see it tonight. I'm very happy.
Eventually I will, but I don't know how to
so-
double jump, Saggy.
So again, what do you do? Do you? I mean, I'm not in a position to throw my hands in the air because what does that do? They've continued to tell us to keep pilot testing. We're doing these games that they're putting on the system for us to test.
Be a good donkey.
What company that is shuttering their hardware or going under or having or in the toilet? How many of those companies continue to have their people test games and test new games and allow them to start showing things?
It's cool. I think it's cool. And let me, because I know, Rich, how are you on time? Just
we're pretty good.
pretty
We
good?
can hang out.
I just
really? No,
This is not a 4-hour MLG show.
You
We're-
were to be fair. He was on. He said I had
like
a
our
10 o'clock.
audience.
he had a 10 o'clock
Excuse
hard
me,
stop last night, but he was on until
Oh, dear.
10:40. Rich is
Yes.
my brother.
We got you.
So, if we could talk a little more about our next topic, but I want to get in. I want to just kind of play the game before Rich is gone.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe you have another 15 minutes. We'll talk, and then we'll start streaming one of these new Amico games for everyone
do it.
live. Let's see. What was our banner? Multi-platform games. This is part of that update showing that there will, and I think this was fairly talked about in the email before this, as far as other IPs being licensed. You got stuff like Astro Smash and what was the other one? And Shark and I'm sure there's others and stuff, but those are the two prominent that
Dino Blaster is
in Dino Blaster. That's
Dino
the BBG stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So they will be a little probably a different feel than, I wouldn't know, but to be honest, I'm good if I can have someone play these games, on the Switch, or what is it, a PC, Switch, Xbox,
Yeah.
PS5. I guess it's all the platforms.
I haven't
So
heard about
if you get
Sony,
if you get to
but
sample,
Xbox,
if you get
Switch,
to
and
sample Steam, yeah, that was the other one. So if you get to sample 2 or 3 games off of an Amico before the I think that's cool.
Right.
It's gonna help you go, okay, these are what the game's about. They're gonna have a ton of exclusive content on the actual console or on the Amico home. That's we're talking about in a little bit. But like to actually play it on the console, I really like that. Am I going to probably get it on Switch when it drops? Yeah. Am I probably going to get Shark and
Right.
yes, I'm going to get it because I would love physicals of those two, to be honest.
I
As a collector,
there's two places I come from on this. From one stance as a fan of Intellivision, as someone that's supporting this console, it takes a little bit out of it to know that some of these
Agreed.
games are no longer just going to be exclusive to Amico. Why buy a console? You buy the console for the games. If your game library is the same, what has been leveraged against Xbox for generations now is why buy an Xbox? Just those are on PC anyway, so just get a PC and you can have that same experience. And now with Game
Rab,
Pass,
I'm sorry to stop you here. It has been a couple months, and this is our first one, so. Cameron Hayes would like to know if we could see a sneak peek of this very special.
I
All
have
right.
to send you something later.
That will be the only one. I'm just keeping it to one. I am so sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
I'm used to those things.
So on the one hand, it is disappointing as a fan to know some of those exclusives, some of those tentpole, the heavy hitters of the Amico, things like Astro Smash, and I don't know if Shark was a heavy hitter, but it was a cute game. A lot of kids enjoyed playing it. Are going to be on other systems, and that's one less thing that makes the Amico special. So from that standpoint, I can see being very disappointed. But from the other standpoint, I know Intellivision has to spend money to market these games. Intellivision has to get these games in front of people. And the fact that they are on, in Xbox's store or in the Switch eShop with 135 million Switches out there, 128, whatever it is right now, 145 by the end of this year. You've got Shark and Astro Smash and Dyna Blasters, and people are seeing some of these little games it's an audience. It's a marketing audience they wouldn't otherwise have. An inexpensive game on there that people can see, like, oh, that's Intellivision. Oh, that's Amico. Like, maybe you start to have that association that, oh, this little game that you like, here's another game by Intellivision or BBG Entertainment. And you follow, some part of that audience follows the trail to see that, oh, it goes back to Amico. So for Intellivision, it is kind of smart marketing to have some of those games out there in places where they are more visible, where the gaming audience might be able to see them and then come back to Amico. Now, if most of the games from the Amico are on these other systems, again, why have the Amico? But if you are looking at a few games that might bring some people in, especially something like Shark or Astro Smash, which are already preloaded on the system, and Intellivision isn't selling it, and the language of that press release, those will remain on Intellivision systems, future Intellivision systems. It looks like Intellivision did not lose them. They just don't have exclusive rights for all other platforms. BBG is going to be the owner, and I think that's a good partnership. Those are the sorts of things that I like to see Intellivision looking and making those sorts of deals. It's smart.
And Rab, to just jump on that on the back of that just for a second, to be very clear, and I got clarification on this. Intellivision is publishing the Amico versions of those games. They are still the publisher for anything on the Amico platform and any future
and pre-existing things. So things like the Evercade, or if they have deals with like that tiny console, then you have Shark on that or something. Those original versions are also
and also sequels.
But I think that is yes, and I think that's something that it's a little bit, the wording is a little weird in the, I will have to admit the
deal is a little weird. You don't see deals like that very often. So this was definitely something that two companies that had sort of synergy, the creative alignment, I guess, was something that Intellivision put in their press release or in their update that they would come to.
Yeah, I do find it interesting, by the way, that those games are coming out for Xbox, Switch, PC, and Mac, but not PlayStation. Don't know why.
Pete says it's going to be very hard to find that balance. So release too many games, it'll hurt the system's potential post-release. But if you have to release enough to raise the money needed to manufacture, I think the last part of what you just said there, I think that's the whole reason is throw a couple of these games that, will kind of get a little taste in everybody's mouth, kind of to try these out. But also the main reason, let's get revenue. Let's get revenue to keep this company going and get the founders their founders. Like
the other part of this is this is relationships with some of these other systems and some of these providers. I know Papa Pete wants to be able to play these games online, and that is something that I think too. Amico has not figured out. They haven't verbalized that they know how to do that and keep it family friendly. Nintendo's always struggled with online and keeping that family friendly and kind of shutting down. Of course, you can have just invite your friends. So you can do it, but there's costs and stuff involved with that I think they just haven't been able to come to terms with. And some of these other outlets might allow us to be able to play these games online, including classic Intellivision IP. I mean, if they're open to putting some of this out there, and that's one revenue stream, put some of the classics out as well and get those with online play.
Yeah, this is what we were kind of just talking about, although I might be backed up in chat here. But they still have rights to be able to
They retain
make
rights into
yeah,
perpetuity
it's
to
not
put
completely
on
gone
Intellivision
from it.
systems.
Yeah,
Right.
correct, and they
Right.
can do sequels as well and put sequels on Intellivision systems as well.
And
So
and
it's
again,
not really completely gone. It's just a revenue stream, and that's the So it's going to be multi-platform. Is kind of what
correct. But and again, just to make it clear, Intellivision is publishing the Amico version. So BBG, if you notice on BBG's site, BBG
Yes.
does not list Amico as a platform for those two
Excuse me.
games.
Sorry, guys.
Because Intellivision is still publishing it there. And in fact, they are still internally developing it there for the Amico. So you gotta, just it's something you have to remember. It's not quite the same as Atari, where Atari is just putting everything anywhere and
By any means
not doing
necessary.
exactly. And
Good point, Darth.
and I think Mike Garcia, to said something
Absolutely.
about here's a video of the console we can't produce anymore. That's not what the update said either. They're trying to get it produced. There was a part of that update that literally before they talked about anything else with the Amico Home, they said we want to assure our fans that releasing the console is still a part of the product strategy. They just have to get there to get it out. To me, the end game has always been the console, and I'm going to stick by that. That is something that I am not going to move from. I believe that the way to success for Intellivision is the console, and I won't move from that. However, you got to have money to do it. This is how they get to that point, to get to that end game. And
Papa Pete, I feel like you're just not giving Care Bear kart racers a fair shot.
that's right. Something else too, and then I'll cede the floor back. Darth brings up the Atari 50th collection, right?
I don't think not in stores. I'm sorry, Amico bro.
Yes.
I just didn't. Yeah, not now. It's going to be
not yet.
shipped
Not
direct.
yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet at all.
And why, when you have to pay a big box retailer margin, sell it direct like everybody else is doing now.
Everything is that easy that way, right?
Again, I will tell you, Microsoft and Sony sold direct for an entire year. So, when I got the Atari 50th collection, it was everywhere. I got it, and I told Micah that I was going to do this, and I held to it. I got it on the Atari VCS. Why? Because to me, that was its home, right? All the Atari games on the Atari console. Am I going to probably buy Shark on an Xbox to play online with a couple of my friends who aren't going to get an Amico? I could, yes. But I'm going to play it with my kids on the Amico, where to me it's the Intellivision system. It belongs there. So, and plus, I'm going to be honest with you. You got to play with that disc. You got to play the game with the disc. There are games, we talked about it last night. I showed, for those who didn't watch our show last night, I showed some Missile Command. You've got to play that particular game with the controller.
Oh, I forgot about Missile Command. Yeah, exactly.
That game with the controller is
it works like a trackball. Yeah,
it far and away is better than the recharged version that's out on the rest of the consoles because of the controller. So, for me, I stick to. I got the Atari 50th on the Atari. I'm gonna play these games on the Intellivision because to me that's where they belong.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Atari 50th celebration, because I know a lot of people for a long time have said, like, Intellivision's going about it wrong. They should just put out a compilation of these old games. They have no business making a console. They should just put out, they should be a publisher and publish these games on other systems, which you make a fair point. I mean, that's kind of one of the things they have to do now is put these games on other systems. The problem, I think, is discoverability. And to be able to do what they want to do and make a name for themselves as a place where you can go as a family, a place that you can go to do co-op games. There are, some attempts out there. I know Air Console does everything with their phone, and all of those games are co-op. There's a lot of like inexpensive, cheaper mobile specific games. There's no major licenses, so there's no recognizable brands on there, but it's all inexpensive. And for like, you know, I think it's like $25 a year or $35 a year, something like that. You have access to a subscription of like access to these mobile games, a small curated library, and it works on multiple devices. You could go about doing something like that. The problem you run into is discoverability. You can't get past all the noise of all the other games out there. You have to be able to make a brand and a name for yourself. And that is one thing where a console stands out. We can't name all these indie developers because we don't know them all, but we can name, you know, the big three, Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox, because they're there. We can name a few of the smaller niche consoles like Evercade and Playdate and Polymega and the VCS because they're there. It's a much smaller field. If you're focusing on the smaller field and make that your platform, I think you have a better chance to break through on your messaging and what you're trying to do. Because as amazing as I think everyone on this panel thinks the Atari 50th anniversary celebration was, we all think it's a great collection of games. Digital Eclipse did a fantastic job with the presenting that like a museum. It didn't break through the noise and the sales like you would think it would. I mean, it did okay. But I shared a link.
I'll pop it on right now.
DJC, if you want to put that up. And this is just the Steam sales for the 50th anniversary. But on Steam over the past, this came out in November of 2022. And on Steam, it sold 4,770 units. I think that might be a little bit of an undersale. I don't know quite how they're pulling these numbers together, but the numbers hold up for some of the bigger games. So I'm going to apply them here to Atari 50th as well. This is from Video Game Insights. But that's Steam sales for Atari 50th celebration. I would imagine Switch sales would be 2 to 3 times that because you have physical. There's more people that might be more inclined to buy it on the Switch. You know, Sony is a little bit of a different audience. Xbox is a little bit different of an audience, so those sales might be a little bit up. But in total, you're only looking at maybe 25, 30,000 sales over the course of 7 months for Atari is one of the biggest names out there. And a collection of all of these Atari's greatest hits, along with reimagined games on there, along with the recognition and the praise from within the gaming community. Oh my God, this is done so great. This is how a compilation should be. We swooned over this. And yet it probably only had sales of 25 to 40,000 if this, you know, looking at Steam sales is any indication.
Well, I can tell you, Rab, on MPD, which now covers by total sales instead of units, it didn't even crack top 50.
Yeah, it made like the top 20% of sales, but it's not going to crack the top 50. It's not going to gather the attention. There's too much stuff out there. It's too hard to do. So to be solely focused on the content is a very difficult premise, and you're probably not going to make it that way. So I can see why making the console, putting things on the console, being a platform is so central to this company's mission of what they want to do. You've got the same. But that said, you know, they can't get there if they don't have the money to get there. So they do have to they do have to diversify. They do have to be flexible. They have to put out some of these assets that they have and make deals with other companies and find people who are synergistic and creatively aligned with them to, you know, put things in play. Sell a little bit of what you have to stay alive, because if you're not going to be able to get the platform out and you're just going to go bankrupt, then, you know, these games are all for naught.
Right.
And that is like the worst case scenario, is that we've all put in all this time and these games were made and nothing comes of this. I think that's the absolute worst scenario.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah. I mean, so, but the other thing though is, you know, like, oh, can a small console actually like do anything for, you know, some of these developers or whatever, right? So this is what I want to say as a little anecdote. I have a VCS, right? I've played every single release on the VCS since launch. I own all of them. I bought every single release on the Atari VCS. I don't know Orange Pixel as a developer without the VCS. I don't know Mech Gang Games as a developer without the VCS. You know, these developers are awesome. They're great people. They're making awesome games. If I don't own a VCS, I'm not looking for them on Steam. They're buried. They're gone. If they put their stuff on Switch, which I know Orange Pixel has, I don't know them either, because again, they're gone. They're buried, right? Like this console is that light that gets shown on them, because on the VCS the pool is smaller, right? There's 60 something titles now on the Atari VCS, right?
You're a visible fish in a smaller pool. Right,
not the 220,000 million that are on all the other platforms. So it's another like interesting thing for the small development teams and making great games. To be thinking about places to go, like the VCS, like the Amico, that kind of thing. So it's an interesting scenario where, as a fan of all this stuff, I always say, like, hey, if there's more options to go out there and get a game, and there's more options to go out there and play games in a different way, then why not? Right? This is all why not? The whole Amico thing is, yes, like you can get all of these things and some of these experiences on other platforms, but they're not gonna feel the same as if you were on this system, because this system was designed from the ground up to give you an experience that's different, right? So that's where I'm that's where I'm at with it. So Scepter says, does the VCS have a lot of exclusive? No, actually.
There's none, I think, right?
It's got at least one.
It's got time
at least one right now. It's got at least one.
Which one?
It's the game from the developer that made Hero for Activision.
Okay.
He just put out a new 2600 game, and currently it's only available on the VCS.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
The original Hero back in like '83.
H.E.R.O. Yeah. I am struggling. I played it, actually, was it last Friday or whatever? Alien Abduction is the name of the game. There it is. It's Alien Abduction, 2600. But you can't get it anywhere else other than an Atari VCS for now.
Now, Rich, would you say that of the developers who, Orange Crate and these other developers that I'm sorry if I got the name wrong, these other developers that are putting games on the VCS that now have something of an identity for that small VCS crowd that have supported that platform, would you say that relationship has kind of been a boon for them, or have they backed off of it? Or you see them going?
I think it's 100% a boon for them because of the community that's built around the VCS. Because what happened is Orange Pixel, they were the ones that started first. They're like, we have a plethora of games that are already on Steam. Some of these games came out in 2012. Some of the
93,000 games on Steam. Yeah,
exactly. But we're going to put 2 games out now and then see how they do. And if they do well, they did an interview. If they do well, we're going to keep putting them out. So we put 2 games out. Then 2 months later, he put another game out. And then a month later, he put another game out. And they kept coming out because we kept buying them, right? Yeah. And then Metkin came out, Metkin Games, but developer, his name's Can. He's a great guy. He put out a game, and it sold well. And again, another one that sold. He put out another game, and it sold well. And now he's putting out another one. It was going to come out on Friday. Now it's probably going to come out. He's going to tune it a little more. It's going to come out mid-June. There is an audience there, and it can slowly build. So although there isn't a lot of hardware that's going to follow, because Mike said in the beginning, Atari's been, in that miasma of, all right, well, we have a warehouse full of stuff that we haven't sold yet as far as hardware goes. Once that goes, we're in. Okay, they say that they're in development.
They need to be in like indefinite hiatus until
there's a new demand.
Something makes sense. Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, Atari's just been eating up IP like a madman, and all of that stuff's going to wind up.
Yeah.
All of that stuff's going to wind up finding a home on Atari VCS. I can assure you that, because they've already proven it.
There.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it all from there, for sure.
Yeah, we will be talking about Amico Home. We have a lot to get to. So I know Mike Garcia was asking about the mobile app, and you have a video of you playing with the mobile phone app, and you were able to pop that on screen to show where you were touching with Missile Command, right?
Oh yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I've got
So
it up.
is that what you got right here?
That's what
Want
I
me to
got
pull it
right
up?
here.
Okay,
Yep.
so we're
So-
gonna show you guys some of that. Why not?
So
Here
Mike-
it is.
Mike, this is my Samsung Note 9.
Brian, what's happening?
Hey, Brian.
Oh,
Steve.
your DJC. Your DJC.
Hold on,
thing
I'll
is-
pull it out. I'll pull the
Okay.
DJC thing off. Hold on.
So
There it is.
what you're seeing, Mike, is where the dot. I'm pointing to the screen, like Mike can see me pointing to the screen. Where the little dot is in the Missile Command screen on the controller is where I'm pressing. And then on the disc, the left, right, and up is which missile battery you fire from. So this is being played on my phone with my mobile app. So, and a game like this, and this is why I said the controller, I keep coming back to the controller as a differentiator from even the VCS, which I love the VCS, but let's be honest, it has an Xbox controller on it, and this is something different. This version of Missile Command is so much better than the Recharge because it is so much more accurate to move around because of the controller.
Now, have you played the Recharge version, Mike?
I have them. I have that, plus
Oh
I
yeah,
have
you
it.
do. That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I won't touch it again, and because of this. This is
Well,
the
it's more,
only
they
version.
did more of like a vector. Like everything was kind of vector.
But it's not. It's not just that. Trying to move the
And the
reticle.
shield. I love the shield.
The shield is great.
Alabama beat Missile Command is no substitute for Atlantis. I
He's
had
not-
to say it.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But this is honestly the only
Yeah.
version of Missile Command I'm going to play from now on. I'm not going to
Yeah.
touch my Recharged because this is just better because of the controller.
Well, I'm
I
going to
know
double
some
down on
people
my
like the
original
vector,
Atari
though, yeah.
VCS Missile Command on your behalf.
So, Rich, are you still doing good on time?
Yeah, we can maybe for a couple more.
Okay. Yeah.
Got a
So
little
let me.
He looked up.
I mean, this isn't NLP. You could stay. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh wow.
Wow. I always got to get the
Wow.
knocks in there. I got to do it. Fellow tester. Got to just.
Wow.
I feel you, Rich.
I've been under 3 hours for a long time now, just so you know.
So I am going to switch over. I'm going to stream. So basically, this is called Dart Frenzy. I'm going to play this live for you. So this is my controller right here. There's the little thing, Dart Frenzy. So basically, how I'm going to play this. Obviously, I'm going to do this because these are right now very expensive, and I don't want to even be like, "Hey, I broke one of these." So I put the lanyard. I call it the lanyard or the whatever. What's a lanyard? I put it up kind of like this. So you're going to do disc out. I'm going to face this at the controller at the TV. And when I do that, it'll recognize it. And then after that, I can move around, which is like Mike. I love what Mike calls it, wizardry.
Oh God, yes.
And then after that, you know, if I to recenter, I hit my action button, my side button, or any of the action buttons. So if I'm off, it'll recenter it to the center, and so I kind of play with that. Sometimes I hit that a little too much, and then it causes me a move. So I got to learn to just kind of go with the flow and aim more. But who said I'm good at games? I just love playing them. So let me switch over my screen. Let me turn it
No
up
one
here.
said that. That's not a claim
Right.
any of us made.
I'll help if you want. I can help you narrate.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
All right. Dude. Yeah, dude. Don't break your TV. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna try not to. So let me flip
Do
over
what to your
here.
friends?
What is-
I don't
So
know.
I gotta stand up. So hopefully here let me do.
yeah, spotlight. Yeah.
There we go.
Now I haven't played much XO1. I haven't figured that
That's
one
like
out.
I'm gonna do 301.
Okay.
Should we play against a bot? I guess you can't. You have
Yeah.
to. Huh?
You have to.
So I'm gonna do a normal when you're doing one player because it's what are you
Yeah.
gonna play darts with one player, right?
You can't just
So,
use your other hand?
I'll let whoever can shout out what they want to
It's
see
Dart
first.
with strangers.
The penthouse, the studio, or the arena.
All right, chat. Tell them the studio.
So you want the penthouse, the studio, or the arena?
All three of them are really good. See, there you go. Thank
Whoever
you.
does it first. Oh, And it looks like the Atari creep says the penthouse.
But Mike Garcia said studio first.
Oh, did he? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
and of course,
Mike...
Sneed says arena. So now we have 1 vote each.
If you're really off with throwing a dart, does like someone in the
Wait,
crowd
where
in the
is
audience
it?
like duck if you completely miss the board?
So Mike was
That'd be awesome.
studio. So we're gonna do studio. Hold on.
All right, there you go. But
That would be a fun game.
But the game taunts you. The announcer will taunt you.
So now I'm gonna choose my crazy darts. I'm not gonna make the chat pick that. We'll do that one. That looks pretty neat. So now I'm gonna hold up my controller. Boom. Now we're ready. So that's me moving. So say I'm off and I'm off to the side. I click it there and it centers back. So let's see if I can get a double bullseye because I'm really close to the monitor.
There you go. So this is using the gyroscope inside the controller, and I'm telling you, it's freaking wizardry.
I don't understand what is up with that reticle. Like,
what do you
Okay,
mean?
not bad.
neon
Let's see what the
PS5.
bot has. Let's see what the computer can do.
PS5. So he's also playing in turn-based mode. However, one of the modes you can play if you want is a split screen side by side, kind of in real time, where you and a second player can both be throwing at the same time.
I like the trash talking. All right, my turn. So I could take out the computer, right? Who's better, DJC or the Amico? We're about to find out.
So far, the Amico is winning.
is it
Come on, Chuck.
is it capped at 2 players, Mike?
Won twice. I'm terrible. Hold on.
Say again,
You know, we
Rob?
need a good
Is it
triple
capped
20.
at 2 players?
No, you could play up to 4, I believe.
All right,
Yeah.
243 to 241. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let this bot. Oh, look, he got a 5. Good for you, Amico. You're supposed to be my friend, Amico. He had to think about that last one.
Ooh, we got it.
Oh.
All right, here we go. We're gonna do triple.
Come
20.
on, Chuck.
Oh, darn it!
We got this.
It's all in the wrist, Chuck.
Man, really?
What are?
Let's try bullseyes then. I think I'm better at that.
There you
There
go.
it is.
There you go.
Computer. So the Amico's a computer? I'm kidding.
Oh.
Oh, he hit the
He
metal.
tried for a
Nice.
bullseye.
So I'll let the.
Wah.
So Sneed, we ought to let John answer the question about is it using the Karma engine, but I will tell you that normal bot is he's a shooter. I haven't played.
Well, I have
with
it on
hard bot
normal.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played hard bot yet because I'm kind of afraid.
All right, hold on.
All right, come on, Chuck.
Yeah, we got this.
Come on.
Oh,
man,
just
that was-
under.
That was like
making
by
us-
the ring, man.
You're making us look bad. Come on. Oh, there we go.
All right, 17.
All right,
All
see,
right.
I'm catching up.
Okay.
Here.
All right. No, you're ahead now.
The normal bot is up.
Oh, good lord.
I will manage to hit my own foot in darts. So this is
Oh,
there is bad, and then there's like me. It's like another level.
don't let him get the triple.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, Chuck.
That's rough.
Jeez, Chuck. Indy says I play better at darts
all
when
right,
I'm
here we
hammered.
go. Sorry, I was trying to get chat there.
I,
Oh, double bullseye. Oh, triple 20.
Nice.
okay, here we
I
go.
mean, that'll
Come
work.
on.
There's another 20.
All right, down to 99.
There we go, guys. Because I have this as well, and I'll have a video coming out a little bit different than this one. I cannot emphasize enough
Now the
how
computer's going. I
incredible-
can get the chat here.
how incredible the controller is with this game.
Yeah.
I wish you could see what Chuck was doing. Chuck is literally, to give you an idea, Chuck is literally holding the controller like this.
All right, I'm
and-
back. It's me
and
up.
doing this
chucking it.
and doing this to throw the dart.
Yeah, I'll
this
show
is-
you guys in a second.
All right, that's good enough.
It's the most I've stand up all day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
20.
Okay, we're down to 48.
Come on, Chuck.
All right, room for this round. I will
Oh,
be
man,
performing
I-
the role of Chuck.
Be in the ones. right. Let's see if this bot's got what it takes, or is he gonna bust? Oh, Chip Ripper!
Woo!
I call that
coming
ring
for
a
you.
Chip Ripper. It's hard to
That's
take
gonna
out
happen.
of those.
He's trying to finish the fight. That's what he's
It
doing.
seemed,
That's it.
Oh.
And-
Oh, he's down to 5.
dude, you need.
Okay, hold on. I gotta
yeah,
get
the
this.
Clubhouse Games
You
one is
need
nice.
triple 20s. You
Mother
Oof.
scratcher,
you need triple. Come on, man.
man.
That's not
I'm
good.
getting nervous. Bad and breakfast. I don't know what that means.
It
but
means you got. It means you
down to
got 3.
21.
It means you got 3 in
bad
a
and
row.
breakfast, guys.
Yeah.
No!
It means you got 3 in a
Give
row.
me-
What a
win.
rab! Sleeping
Yeah.
on the
Finished him.
bus.
How does the Miko win?
Put him away.
This is crazy. This
I tried to, dude. I
been
tried.
bad.
I tried to warn you about normal bot, man.
Oh,
I mean, that was
I
legit
can't
cool to
believe
watch,
this.
though.
oh, that is crazy, man. Hold on, let me flip on over and show you what I've been doing.
I cannot emphasize enough.
I've been literally like this in the studio because I'm trying to get as far back as I can without like hitting stuff. But
Yeah.
boom, boom, and then boom. So it's like it's fun. So I have a video coming out of this. It should be probably releasing early morning or late night, wherever, depending on where you're at. But I do have a video of me and my buddy playing this. We just played some today, and a buddy of me and another friend playing it the other day in my arcade. So it'll be fun.
So I'm gonna hold off then until Friday to put mine out.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I got some shark stuff and everything. Well, look, everybody.
It's
We
only
need
fair,
to pump
man.
in the. Whoops, hold on. What did he say? Oh, we need to pump up the karma and darts to DJC level.
I think the Joy-Cons could do the same thing. I think they have the same internals.
Excuse
The
me.
Joy-Cons
I have such a
could.
cold right
We
now.
talked about this last night. The Joy-Cons could theoretically the PS5
Joy-Cons would be a
controller.
good home for something like this.
Yes.
I mean, they
The-
already have variations, but
This is made by JV Games.
Yeah. The PS5 controller theoretically could do it, but the shape of the PS5 controller, I've tried every which way to figure out how to hold it, and you just can't.
no,
And
it's
the
not
Xbox
natural.
could-
Yeah,
I
you
never
have to
used
use you have to use your Q Lite.
And you couldn't do
With
this
your
with an
earpiece in.
Xbox. Yeah, you couldn't do this with an Xbox because the Xbox does not have gyro in
No,
their controller.
You
You're
could
gonna-
do it with your PlayStation VR2.
That's exactly what it is.
You could.
Partnership.
You could. You could.
Yeah, I
However-
always keep it like this so it doesn't
However,
fall. I
just-
won't throw.
Right. This game is not. This game has not been. Is
You can
not
do it with
one
your
of the
Didge.
This game is not.
Now to watch me play a whole live version of cricket. You guys have a
Yeah.
couple hours? No.
Yeah, a couple hours, a couple days.
Better
Yeah,
than
cricket-
Sonic CD.
cricket's harsh.
So
Best
this
Sonic
game-
ever.
This game, to our knowledge,
Whoa,
is
undid
not,
GGG.
not multi-plat. This game is Amico only right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Okay.
game I'm good at is auto racing. We get some auto racing coming in. You're gonna see me win, Amico.
Well, you know what, too, Chuck? If that game ever hit, you would be able to steer with the controller.
Oh yeah, it's true. Well, that's similar to the Evil Knievel game that we've
Yes.
played.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
just
Afterburn
back
that,
up
but
just a little
Didge
bit. I
did,
played
but-
darts. I've been
Yeah,
playing
Square Enix did.
the Dart Frenzy on the Amico console.
Yep. That was Amico.
There'll be a video out too, but you can see it in replay or just back up. You can see it.
Mhm.
I don't want to go play like 2 games of darts. People will be like, "So we just came here to watch darts." Although I'm sure
I mean, that
it's
was
the very
pretty
first
fun,
live
man. Like,
Amico,
I'm not
so
gonna
I guess
lie.
that's cool.
when we showed it yesterday, I had a couple of people in my chat go, "Holy crap, darts! That looks great." So I mean, there's dart players that love to do this kind of stuff.
Oh, they did have WiiWare games. That's cool.
So
But yeah, so that was fun. Let me turn that sound down. It's got a rockin' soundtrack. But so there it is. That is cool. So we do have another topic here before we.
Yeah, I think we got a request to go over Amico Home too.
That is
Yeah.
our next one.
Yeah.
Yep, Amico Home and the mobile, I guess, mobile gaming and Amico Home. Who wants to start on their opinion of this? This is let me say
Go
because I
with
guess
Rich.
I haven't weighed in too much, but I'll go to Rich. I'm not a mobile gamer type of a guy, but I understand the market. It's huge. It's huge. I don't have numbers or statistics for what it is in 2023 or by the end of 2022 or whatever, but it's huge. And I know that people will play something like a Shark I mean, I'm just saying games. It doesn't mean that they're coming to mobile or anything, but I'm saying like the Breakout or Moon Patrol, just something where it's just fun. I have played Moon Patrol demo on my mobile phone, so I understand how that plays and how you can rock it and move it and jump and shoot. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Once again, this keeps the company going. This keeps the Amico going. This gets the name out there, and also makes the founders come. So that's my opinion in a nutshell. Rich, what do you think of Amico Home / kind of mobile?
I mean, I think it's it's definitely a cool and interesting way of, I don't know, I necessarily call it a pivot, but like it's certainly a good. I mean, stopgap is probably the better way of referring to this. Like, hey, we can't get your thing, but here's a thing that you can do. There's actually another interesting analog to a company that did something very similar, and that was actually Polymega. They're still having trouble getting out the base units, right? But Polymega PlayMagic came out and said, oh, hey, because we're doing this, like we're having trouble doing all this stuff. Our new strategy is to get out the base units that people have been waiting for, but also have like a thin client approach where you can start to use like your PC or something else or whatever, and you hook up these things to them, like they're actually disk drives or modules, right? To this device, and then basically use your PC or like a high powered tablet or something like that as your Polymega. So it's not just necessarily Intellivision that's looking at doing these interesting new ways of doing things while they're waiting to get hardware, because the hardware world is still pretty compressed and hard to navigate, right, for anyone. Especially basically a startup, right? Because that's what we got to see that in this lens. It's a cool idea. Now the only thing is, it's a great idea, but we got as long as it's executed well, that's when it becomes the awesome idea, right? So then we just got to hope that they have all of those plans together, and then yes, they're going to be able to execute well, and let's go. For me, if I offered the opportunity, hey, like here's Amico Home. It's whatever. It's if you have to pay for the app or whatever, and you got to go to your store and you go buy an Amico controller, and then you can use it. I think the thing with me is the make or break is I got to use a Amico controller for whatever this is. Right?
I 100% agree with you. Yeah. And I know there'll be other. I mean, there could be many versions of it too. Maybe there is a version that people are just playing on the go on the subway or whatever.
And it mentioned in that paragraph on Amico Home about interfacing with the controller.
Yeah. Yes. I think we need to read this for what it is. This is not mobile. This is not mobile games this is not Amico games. Let me try to find the right words for this. This is not mobile versions of Amico games. What they're talking about with Amico Home is taking a mobile device, which has, we all know, it's got pretty much the same chipset as the Amico from the CPU, which, by the way,
which is a strength now.
Which right. So does the Switch,
right?
And just
the Switch has a souped-up custom.
Well, yeah,
but it is
a
mobile dedicated chip device. Right. I mean, the specs are specific to mobile.
This becomes the Amico console. That's what they're talking about. This becomes the Amico console. And in order to play the games, which are still the full-on same Amico games that Chuck just showed, that I've been showing, and you have to use the controllers, either a hardware controller or a second device with the mobile controller that Chuck showed earlier. And I showed with the Missile Command in order to play. So it's not that's what it is. It's basically turning your phone or your tablet into an Amico, and then you could take your most phones have some way of taking your USB or your Lightning if you're an iPhone and doing it into HDMI and plugging into your TV, and that's how you get the games on your TV. So that's what Amico Home is, and that's how I read it.
So
when we read through it.
piggybacking off of the process, because if you think about the Amico, I mean, the controllers themselves are not strong enough to play the games. They don't have enough processing power built in to actually operate the games. But when they pair with something, the console itself, which is large, it charges them, it has pretty lights, but it's basically just the operating system and that chipset in the console. It's very, very light. If you replace that with a mobile device, with a tablet, with a Kindle, with something that has that same level of processing power, you can have a lot of versatility with what could operate as Amico, where Amico could show up. If you're
Right.
using the controllers in unison with that, or if you're using additional phones or tablets in addition with that.
Right.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure people understood that's the differentiator. Because Rich, you said, and you're right, you have to. You have to have the controller to play
Yeah.
some of this.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was fortunate enough.
Look how you could turn this like on a dime.
Yeah.
Like, like there's a lot. I mean, I'm sure this is just my favorite way. Like you can do a figure eight with this disc. Like it's so you could like boom, boom.
And this is how it was designed. I mean, you use a toggle stick for this. Yes, you could do the same thing, but it's different when the game was. You feel like you're dancing
here
with
comes
the
the shark.
disc
Hold
with
on.
this fish. You feel like you're doing figure eights and silhouettes
Yeah.
or pirouettes.
Right.
Silhouettes,
I
whatever.
got it.
At the beginning of our video with Spencer was taking his little stuffed dolphin, and he was,
But
my
yeah.
dolphin's gonna play, but he could. I was like, yeah, put that back up on your. He's like, no, I want to, and he was able to do it.
But if Amico games operate on a phone and you can sync an Xbox controller with that and it works, great. If that's how you want to play the game and the games are able to be played that way, or a phone or a tablet, so a kid can use a tablet to play, or you sync it to the tablet, great. I would think, that, Intellivision needs to at least prioritize the production of the controllers then, because if you're building this audience, then you have the ability to sell them. We have this controller that is perfect for these games, and that's just a baked-in audience.
Yeah, to me, the controller is the experience. I agree 100%, Rap. Like that's, I gotta bite this tail, but I'm by myself. I don't have a partner to help. Boom! Bit his tail.
I got an 8-year-old that could play with you.
I can't wait.
And that's the thing is that yes, the reason that I am steadfast in the console needs to be the end game is because the one thing I will say is the console is plug and play. You get it out of the box. You take the HDMI cable. You plug it into the console. You plug it into the TV. You turn it on. That's a lot easier than trying to get this to work and get controllers. But
I agree, Darth.
But you got to get to that point. And so if this gets you to that point, and it gets more eyes on this, because look, because they're the real Amico games and not mobile versions, I would assume, and I have no information about this, but I would hope that anything you play on Amico Home, when you get will work on your console too, in sort of like a Amico Anywhere kind of scenario.
Well, this is where Rich was talking about the execution has to be right. You can really flub all of this if it's not done correctly. I mean, if you're trying to sell this to an audience these games are not for your classic gamers who know their way around hardware and tech and setting up systems and going through that. One of the whole points of the Amico was like it's out of the box plug and play. And for the audience that they're going for, that's a big deal because a lot of them feel left out of some of this tech addendums that like, okay, I'm trying to set up, I've got a PlayStation and I've got to go through the setup and I've got to go into the PlayStation that it wants me to sign into this and it wants me to register all of this stuff. And it's a lot of setup and a lot of stuff that you have to do. If you have to figure out how to mirror cast, if you have how to, go into an app to get your games and another app to do Amico Home, and you got to do another app for some, like you have to make it as seamless and idiot proof as possible. Because if you're going for a broad audience, because one of the things that I see something like Amico being good for, we don't have, I'm bringing out those dig games because education, gaming and education is
Oh, I went right in his mouth.
falls a little bit into my background of work, and I've some experience there, and it's not something that any of the other major players do, and that's all been kind of just moved towards mobile. And mobile is very predatory, and mobile is not something that a lot of schools are interested in doing.
Right.
But if you have something like this that is a platform that is a single price that they can pay, and all of these, they all have tablets at schools, they can play educational games, they can play Einstein's brain teasers, whatever that brain duel. You can play Care Bears Kart Racer. You can play some of these games that are geared towards small children. I mean, in New York State, you have aftercare is paid for by the state. So parents are at work and their kids are being cared for hours without educational structure. So they're playing games or watching movies. They would love something like this that is family friendly, that is easy to set in. Oh, so I can just use we have tablets. It's the school. So we can just plug into our tablets, and it's going to cost us, the school can get a license for like $70 a year, and we can do like 30 of these. Awesome. Something like this makes sense. And we never think about it because all we think about is games for gamers. But if we start to think about audiences who are not gamers, who struggle with some of this, but still have that innate desire to play and have that innate need for, some entertainment and ease of access to something like this, there's a market out there. Is it going to make them tens of millions? No, but it will keep them alive to be able to get to the market that they think is there for families at home that might say, oh, this is a solution for us to be able to play. This is easy for us to want to play. So the Amico console concept is still there, but I'm glad that they are doing this stuff on the periphery, because this stuff on the periphery is also important, and it falls in line with everything they've been saying for 3-4 years. And it's part of why I'm very enthused about this console, because the versatility for things like this. Right.
Well, so Rab and I have been talking along these lines based on both of our
for
professional experiences for years. I completely agree with every single one of those sentiments, because a lot of people that aren't in this world, that aren't in this industry, in the education tech space, they wouldn't see that as like, oh, well, you wouldn't even think of that. But I've even talked to colleagues in my same field, and have mentioned this type of product. Like, hey, would you, like, not naming names or whatever, like, would you deploy something like this for your kids in X situation? And hundreds of people all are like, yeah, sure. Where is this thing? And I'm like, well, it's not here yet, but if it gets there, I'll be the first one to bring it to you. And they're all in. They're ready for this, because again, it's great to deploy for kids. And the other thing that I mentioned this actually to someone, and when they snap back and be like, oh, well, it's just as easy to put like an Xbox or a PlayStation there. You don't understand when you're trying to deploy something that's easy for kids, right? Something that you could literally, as an IT director in a school, right, that you'd want to just, I'm going to put this here and I'm going to walk away. I've plugged it in. I've gotten its connection. I'm out. See ya. That's what an IT director wants to do. Now
you can't. They want total control, and they don't get that. Right. Because they're going to lose their job, or there's going to be a state investigation or a Department of Education investigation once some kid has figured out how to, put stuff on there that shouldn't be on there.
Well, so here's some real life for you right now, right? I've deployed Xboxes, right, into the places that I work. And I know, Mike, you love you some Xbox
Switches.
But if you've ever tried to deploy one of those inside of a school where
I would
where
never.
Every single person in that school, their entire existence,
they're all Sony ponies
around it, they're gonna find a way around. That family app is awesome. I'm gonna tell you that the cloud family app for Xbox is amazing. How much level of control you have over that machine, but it's not infinite. And they will get around it, right?
Absolutely can.
They'll find a way. But you put something like this, you put something like Amico out there, right? And you're like, well, what are you going to do, right? It's its own thing. It's got the games on it. You got the controllers. It's on the television. You play the games. You walk away. You're done.
Right. They don't have an opportunity to download a rated M game that they can get around, right? Or look, Roblox is not rated M or even rated teen, but there is some nasty
It's
stuff
not great. It's not
Roblox.
great.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
I have completely stopped.
Awesome.
I've completely stopped letting my kids at home play Roblox.
Yeah,
I am just now letting
them do
Seth.
Roblox.
I am just now letting Seth play games like Halo and Doom because he's old enough. But when we went to Amico Fest, for example, and he was 11, I wouldn't let him touch those games, until I knew he was mature enough to understand what he was playing. You can't put an Xbox in an elementary school. You can't. You can't. I would never do that. I love Xbox. Yeah, you're right, but I would never do that.
You can. Yeah, it's just the school learns the
Well,
hard way.
I'm not-
It doesn't.
well,
It doesn't work
okay.
out the way they think it does.
Yes, I could physically. I could physically do it, but I'm saying, you know what I'm.
I can tell you about 4 districts in the city that have, and it doesn't work.
Rab is still in master debaters mode with me.
I'd be in master debate.
Language.
I am.
No, I'm just kidding.
I am just heartbroken that someone named the DJC as a top advisor. You've got it. The advisor's right in the name. Come on, Sneed.
Phil has offered a few people the job.
Oh, I got an electric.
I'm telling you, Rich. Him narrating this game while we're discussing serious.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It is this. This is it.
This is what it's all
So
about.
the state of education in America.
I'm about to get in trouble, but it's fine because this is happening. This is great.
Yes, you're on here longer than you were on.
Turn it up.
Yes, I was. Yes, I'm noticing that actually.
I would like to say
Our schools wouldn't
you
allow
know-
calculators in erasing nut.
I was more cognizant of your time there, Rich.
I got the bubble. You can't get me.
It's all good, brother.
Can't get me. Silly fish.
John,
Like shark snakes out of you.
John is tough competition with me with that stash.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. This chat.
So-
This chat.
Oh!
So yeah, this
I guess
whole
his butt ate me.
Amico home, I think, will open up opportunities to Intellivision,
Yeah.
and I think the ability and the willingness to work with people. Air Console, I mentioned Air Console earlier.
Yeah.
They partnered with BMW to put Air Console in BMWs last year.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work while you're driving because that would be a loss. They don't want that. But if you're in park mode, you have Air Console, $30 a month or $30 a year, I think, and you've
Yeah.
got access to like 60 games on there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think about those partnerships, but there are companies out there that have a need for something family friendly and entertainment. Okay, what you got? And if Phil is willing to talk to these people and willing to kind of, this Amico system now just isn't a console, but it is a platform and it has multiple iterations.
There you go. Right?
Don't take from the console. I mean, the console is still the home solution, but in other arenas, a different solution might work.
Yeah.
And Amico so Air Console has BMW tailed down. Well, Porsche is still wide open. And BBG is out there in Germany. So Phil, get on the phone with Porsche and see what you can do.
Right.
With Amico and Porsche.
Yeah, I mean, because if
in
they can do
airlines,
it-
Greyhound has put screens into the seats and you try to take your family on a trip. Maybe Greyhound is an interest in trying to make themselves more family friendly and showing they have some family options on their buses. So a deal with Greyhound. Maybe it's not a fortune, but it's money, and it's a place where families are playing together on long trips across the country.
Yep.
Taking the bus. There's
we're-
options out there for things like this.
You know,
And once you start to think about that and think about the flexibility that this allows, because it is a phone-based chipset that everybody laughed at, actually it makes it a much more versatile solution to some of the things in society where we would like to have more time spent together, or we'd like to have an opportunity to play and do something silly and fun at an inexpensive cost.
Spencer does not go anywhere without his tablet in the car. Anywhere.
Right.
And that's a oh look, it's a stork.
It's a pelican. It's not a seagull. Oh, I just bit his tail 3 times.
That part of that video was awesome, man.
Oh, thank you. I
That
can't.
was good.
It's a flamingo.
What's sad is I
Can we
can't.
run through that a different color?
What's sad is we've lost our host. We are stuck in this
It's okay.
chat forever.
The sad part is that as soon as I said that, I thought in the back of my head, did I really call that a stork?
on.
I am such a so I played on that. And yeah.
Indie Racing Nut, I am still paying to play Super Nintendo games on certain flights. That's how outdated some of those airlines
Oh, I got
are with
that
their
tail.
in-house entertainment.
Right.
Uh-oh.
It's like, great, you got Super Mario World. Super.
No.
I've got
By
this
the way,
home
one of
too.
my
I wonder if
my
there's
Oh,
centipede on this flight.
on.
one of my
Well, that's
favorite moments from Spencer on this was the Ghostbusters reference that he rolled out. We had just taken out the shark, and he's like, "Yeah, got you," and then he just out of nowhere just goes, "Bustin' makes me feel good," and I'm like, it took everything for me not to bust out laughing.
That was great.
I'm like, that's my boy.
That's
Well, at
awesome.
least you didn't say we came, we saw, we
Oh,
kicked
he
it.
kicked its ass.
Hey, Sam.
Oh, got electrocuted
Oh,
again.
I hate that.
Oh.
That's gotten me too.
Oh,
Oh.
That's a good time, though.
my final guy here.
Unless you get a black pearl.
Well, I don't have any in reserve. I don't think.
No,
I've
one will
used
pop
them
up.
because I've been playing awfully.
One will
So
pop
the-
up for
the-
you. There it is. There
Oh,
it is.
there
Get
it
it.
is.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
The version of
Oh,
Come on, Chuck.
Molly, whatever the type of fish that is, the tang. I don't know.
Oh man.
So the version of Shark that's appearing on Steam has some options not enabled because you don't have the touchscreen controller. You can't be able to
Right.
see
Yep.
the
The hints
hints of
that come on the screen
which,
that let you know
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Right. and the
which
score
clams
and
to go
stuff.
find or
Mhm.
which oysters to
Right.
go and find the pearl. It might be the same with something like Amico Home, where you have a version of the game, and for the rest of the experience, for a little bit more personalized Amico, the console experience, you get some different stuff on that game.
Right.
I mean, I don't know where they would go with that, but that's another
Yeah.
option so that you're not necessarily taking completely away from the console experience. Of
Yeah,
course, you
but
want to have a
that's-
little bit more.
Well, there's
you know,
other
meat to
things
that, but-
too. I mean, there's other things too. I know this is show us Spike.
I don't know why
this
I'm
is
on the big screen here. I'm all sunburnt and have a summer cold and I'm sneezing and coughing. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
I know this is a small thing, and I'm not suggesting this is like some major super thing, but I really like having a place to dock the controllers.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
None of the other consoles have a place to actually put your. So all of my
That's true.
controllers for my Xbox,
The
my
Switch does not have a
PlayStation, all that-
dock. You heard it from Mike Mullis, who hates Nintendo.
God.
Where do I put this?
My God. I didn't have a. Do I have to show this again? Do I have to show this again? I have this up on my shelf for just these occasions.
Yeah, you see that, Phil? The Amico needs a handle.
Oh my God.
It needs-
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. That's
No,
what
I
it's
mean-
missing.
But I mean, all of
That's
my
what we've learned.
controllers, all of my controllers are sitting over on my. People who watch me stream know I have a streaming setup over where my chair is. I have all of my controllers over there hooked up to various USB.
Sorry, Creep says.
Yeah, so does the Fairchild
It's also-
VES Channel
It's
F.
also the
Oh
size
my
of 2
God.
VCRs.
So does the Bally
Right.
Astrocade, Astrovision,
Can
Bally
I
Arcade.
can I finish my freaking point?
Tell us about this amazing dock. We want to know more.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
You know,
Harrison, help me.
behind this,
Handle.
you know, behind this, you're number one, Rab.
Oh man. Well, at least you're being nice.
No,
You're saying
look,
he's number
no,
one.
look.
That's
Would you have a
nice.
little puffy fish in there?
I'm just a little bone
how do
fish.
I get the hell out of here? How do
I'm
I?
smiling on the
There are
inside.
rails, and then there was a track that was on there, and we were now
They're
that's fine.
broken.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Those rails have always been broken.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Baron.
No,
but yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. That's
Welcome to Amico Forever. We bring our own
Yep.
train wreck.
yeah. So yeah, sorry. What was I? So anyway, no. So seriously, in all seriousness, over where my streaming
Hilarious,
stuff, I've
Indy.
got my Xbox controllers, my PlayStation controllers. I've got a Saturn wireless controller.
Next week.
All of them are plugged into various. Like I've got a slew of USB cables over there that are plugging. It's like Skynet over on my streaming station. There is something to not have to take, say, if you get two Amico controllers and having to have two USB cables, a splitter, whatnot, to plug them in, find a place where there is something to have the place on the console where you could sit those controllers down, charge them, or just have them sitting there out of the way. So there are differentiators to Amico Home versus having a console. What we need right now is the console, because right now there's no comparison to it. I can, I can say it because I've got it over there, but it's not. It's something that's got to be out there. To my experience, I'm sure Sega built in dock, so he's never experienced it. No, they did not.
Baron brought up
3DO had a dock?
pretty decent point that, like, isn't it like, we've put in this money for a deposit, we put in money. You asked about the physical product that scans. The fact of the matter is, Intellivision has outstanding money for a console, and I think if they're abandoning the console, then they have obligations and they have liabilities, and that would get a company in a lot of trouble if they can't follow through with what they've started. I think what we're talking about is not an abandonment of the console altogether, which I think some people have concluded, like, they just need to drop this. If they're going mobile, put the games out. Just get the games out. That's fine. Just as long as you get the games out, we're happy. Well, if I'm Intellivision, I'm concerned about that statement, because I've accepted a lot of money in pre-orders. I've accepted a lot of investor money telling them I'm putting out a console. Does a mobile solution with controllers satisfy a system, a console? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in that position to say, but I know that if Intellivision has money to do something and they're not going forward with that central concept, they have a lot of wiggle room. That you have a lot of places that you try and you can't make it work in this environment. That's one thing. But to completely abandon and just go to a phone app, I would be very concerned if I was Intellivision. And yes, I would think it would be a disingenuous move of the company to just go the route of, no, we're only going to put things on a mobile platform. I think the console part is still there. I think it is by that update that they put out, and I think they have to do something in that line.
Well, and
it's just they can't do it as their next step.
Correct.
In order to stay afloat, they need to have some sort of revenue aside from that. They need to address that they have games, they can get the games out.
I mean, it's right. Look, and this was said before they talked about expanding to Amico Home. If you'll indulge me, let me read this. We want to assure our fans that shipping a console remains a part of our product strategy. The development and hands-on testing of our pilot units have been a successful step forward. And then they, right? So, yes, they still may.
Yeah, they could have worded that stronger. That this would be this is integral to our mission. This is, this is something we are committed to. I think stronger language should have been used there, but it's there, and I can see the confusion. This is my read of that statement, that the console is still something they are working towards.
Yes,
but where they are right now, the cost of putting it into production, they've been trying to figure out that cost and get this to production, and they need to. I mean, people say, like, you can keep kicking the can down the road. if they just focused on doing the console and not doing anything until they get the console, I think they would go broke. They'd go bankrupt. I think they need to find a revenue source. I think they need to be able to show their investors and stuff, people who have backed them, that this idea does have traction. They need to show that they can put out a viable product and they have means other than it'll all be perfect once we get the console out. Yeah, well, you haven't got the console out, so now what? They have to do something to keep the company healthy until then, solvent.
Right. And to that end, yes, we're all frustrated. We are frustrated. There is, it's not all sunshine and rainbows here. I think we all know that, but that's why I said earlier.
I have singing birds over here with my sunshine rainbows.
We hear it in the background because. What's the alternative? Just we have other stuff to play in the meantime, so I'm apt to just continue waiting. I'm apt to continue going through the things.
I mean, it's really all we can do. If you like something and it's not out and you can't make it come out, that's what you're going to wait. If you don't want to wait, you don't have to.
Mike is asking why didn't.
Very frustrating, though. I get it.
But Mike is asking why they didn't do this in 2020, 2021, 2022.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's
not 2020.
The frustration.
Right. But they weren't in. I don't think they.
I think they were so focused on the vision of getting this system out, doing everything they can to get the system out, that they weren't taking alternatives for an answer. When stuff hits the fan, when these things start breaking apart, then I think you start to see more desperate companies are more innovative than companies in comfortable positions or companies that are laser focused on what they're doing. It's good to be laser focused, but if you can't be flexible and ultimately that laser focus leads you to a dead end, or you have an unsolvable problem, you have something that you can't get past, you need to be flexible. So it would have been great if they would have addressed some of this in 21 or 22, but they're here now in 23 addressing it.
They were, let's be honest, they were in the absolute worst state in America to be in during COVID. I mean, they were in the absolute worst. They were shut down for an entire year and yet tried to keep going. This is one of the things that if you look at the first part of the update, they had to lay everybody off.
Well, there was a lot of things external that affected them, and some things internal as well.
Internal, absolutely. And
Intellivision made a lot of mistakes along the way too.
Like Scepter says, hey, you should have maybe started with the Amico. That probably would have been a good idea. Like, right?
I don't know. I don't agree with that. Go ahead. I don't agree with that. And maybe it's because I'm so steadfast on the console being the pillar. Like with Rab, the wording could have been stronger on their assurance. However, starting with Amico Home,
really want to.
Yeah. Starting with Amico Home, I think, and I know people are taking this update in a different way than some of us are, and that's fair. It's very fair. But starting with Amico Home, I think, dilutes the console prospect even more than...
Agreed.
I still think console first. In a perfect world, console first, and Amico Home is the extension. They're just the reality of today. This is the thing that I said last night on NLG. At my full-time job, our CEO has a philosophy of you get off the island, right?
Agreed, creep. Yeah.
You worry about how you got on the island and what to do to not get on the island, again later. You get off the island. You fix the problems, which is what Phil Adam was asked to do. Let's call this as it is. He was given a shovel and thrown into a ditch and said, dig your way out. There's no other way to say it. And he's been doing everything he can to dig that company out of the hole that it was in.
I agree.
And could, look, is he going to get to the top of that hole? I don't know. But he's going to, I want Intellivision, if they're going to go down, I want them to go down swinging. I want them to go down with the console out and swinging, because that that is what we're playing. And somebody asked earlier, I thought, said, well, hey, I thought they were in pre-production last year. What Chuck and I have, and I think this is something that has to be driven home, are not development kits. What we are playing on is the actual finished hardware. If they put this on the assembly line and got it out the door, what Chuck and I have is the exact same thing that all of you will have. So it is a finished product. It's not a prototype. It's not a dev kit. It is a finished product. They just
Hardware's
don't have
been
the
finished
means
for nearly 2 years.
They don't have the means to mass produce it. So they're
and they can't afford the cost to do a minor production either. I mean, the cost of putting anything into production has a high upfront cost that I don't think makes sense, even for them to get out. I could say just get out 500, get out 50 of these to some random people, put them online so that people will shut up about you being fake and a scam. Just do that. It costs you $1,000 a unit. Oh, well, then you have better press. It doesn't work that way. There is a large cost to production. Once this is out, there is a cost to maintaining and operating the system. When they are ready to go into production, it's not just making the systems. They have to have the servers. They have to have the stuff that's behind it. They have to be able to show their investors what they've done. They need to have a operating system and ecosystem behind it, at least the bones of that ecosystem. There can be stuff that's not functional, but they need some things to be there to be able to satisfy what they've the funds that they've taken and where they've gone. So it's not as easy as just make one and send it out to some rando and he can review it, and then you could get a little bit of pressure off your back. They're in a bad place. They have to figure out some solutions, and I think some of these are potential solutions to help dig them out of that hole that they found themselves in.
Right.
Yeah.
That they helped put themselves in, but also, there is a lot of holes opening up in the ground over the past few years.
Right. And I'm happy continuing to test, but I'm going down with this ship. I'm holding out until we're told otherwise, until we're told that this is done. I have no reason to walk away from this. If you guys all watched the Shark video, you saw, and Chuck and Rich, you guys saw the cornhole video yesterday that I showed. That I'll put
Joke's
out
on you guys,
hopefully.
because I got a parachute. I'm not going down on this ship.
But you guys saw
Parachute right in the water.
You guys saw Seth, my 13-year-old, and my 8-year-old playing cornhole, and you saw the looks on their faces just having fun playing cornhole. I can't walk away from this.
Right.
I can't. If we have to do a post-mortem on this one day because it failed, okay. And then we move on and we support the Intellivision games and what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not walking away from this console until I am told that there's just no way.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to. There's just no reason to.
We're gonna end this pretty soon, so I wanted to kind of go around. We have a lot more to discuss.
Potion, they are entertaining reports, to be fair.
I no longer feel bad about keeping Rich on for 37 minutes.
It's great.
He had an opportunity to leave, and he's like, I'm just going to watch Chuck play fish.
Yeah, I might not be
I want to answer this right here. Jacob says, does the panel think that redesigning the Amico hardware based on readily available parts today be a good idea versus pursuing the original specs? I think anything that brings the cost down would be good. That's just my personal opinion. Because if that makes something come out faster, then why not? And I think we talked about this on NLG yesterday was, am I staring at my Xbox when I play it and going, man, look at that square box? Now, mind you, I think the Amico is a little more appealing. It's got the lights and everything. But if it didn't have the lights or wasn't flashy, it was just a little square box, I still think that
base.
If it is just eliminated stuff that eliminated cost, I'm good with that because once again, friends and this controller and a TV screen. That's really all I'm looking for out of this experience. Once again, that's just me, in my opinion on that.
I agree with the lights. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be happy if they took the charging out of the charging out.
Thanks for the $199. I don't know what that means.
What if it wasn't touch charging? What if it was because they originally were going to do the Qi.
Yeah.
What was
The
that?
QI, the
Yeah,
Q Lite Sony handheld, not charging.
The touch
Yeah,
charging.
the touch.
Oh,
yeah.
wireless charging. Wireless.
Yeah.
No, that would be fine if they could do that and make that cheaper. I think charging on the console again. I'm coming from modern gaming where all of my controllers are sitting over there with
Yeah.
stuff plugged into them.
And look, we live in a world where console variants come out. A pro version, a light version, an inexpensive version. You can have right now they took away some of the USB ports on the back of what was originally planned for the console. Yeah, you're welcome, Baron. Do what you need to do to get it out as near as you can, and then if then once you're an operational company, you've got a positive revenue flow, you're moving forward, then you can make a reiteration and put some of the niceties in that you had to kind of cut down on, or put some extras in. I mean, I think that's a interesting option, and a lot of us are double dippers on a lot of things in that respect. So you've got
I returned that
willing
super
audience,
so I didn't accept it. So
C-Mart
anyway.
and the 17 of us in this chat.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah, it's already
come on.
bounced. Yeah, it's already bounced. Hey, what? Hey, one bad one
No,
out of
not
a million.
Not bad.
We're good.
I know, but Lord.
You don't need the super chat.
It's
I
been
think-
returned and the person banned, so
I
I
think-
apologize for that,
yeah.
guy. Denied. I don't want your $199 wing fart or whatever your name is. Anyways, I want to say thank you to everyone, but I do want to go around before we go. Next week we will showcase another game live, and talk some more. There's a lot to be talked about as this happens, and I really want to next week kind of dive into the Amico club list and see like what that could be.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that. And and here's our man of the hour here. Phil Adams says, I appreciate all the thoughts and ideas. We have put all this time and effort in keeping Intellivision alive. That's what basically Phil went in there and did, is keep this thing going so it's not a dead thing, because that's what we don't want. Hey, we're done. Sorry. You don't want that. So thank you, Phil. But great thoughts. And just what Rab said at the end was profound. Well, there you go.
Parachutes
Rab always
on your
says
boats,
something
people.
profound. Where's my checklist? Rab says something profound.
There we go.
Checked off.
I
Wow.
thought it was some crazy crap or something.
So, yeah, I mean,
I think
he's-
so.
he's doing. I think he's doing an admirable job, and he's doing what he has to do.
Yeah.
And I love
it's
Tommy.
not
He's a great guy. I think Phil is really doing a good job of keeping things afloat. I don't think very many people gave Intellivision 18 months to live 18 months ago, and they're still there and
Yep.
still putting stuff out. So
Mhm.
they're doing something right, definitely.
Big Block Plymouth, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. That's Silly Club member. Thank you for that as well.
No, return that and ban him. He's even worse.
I will gladly accept that $4.99. Thank you to Phil and John for carrying the heavyweight. Cheers.
Big
It really, and that is really what's happening, is keeping this alive. And you don't even know how much work that Phil does daily. It's insane. And stays with it because he wants this to come out and wants you to get your founders, and how much work that John puts in designing, redesigning, taking feedback, redesigning, going again. Like it seems like 24/7. I think he runs or jogs in between, and then has maybe something to eat. I think.
And many people on the team that have had to be laid off. I know there's a lot of hardworking people there that have worked incredibly hard to get it to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so thank you so much, and I'm going to return this other weird super chat. You got it. Just ban it, and it'll return that. I don't want your money. Stay away.
How did that happen with?
I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys for being on. I know we got a lot in it. We're almost 10 minutes away from a 2-hour stream, but hey, we're back. We had to make it special. So
we did miss you guys.
Yeah, we did. This is great.
Yeah.
Rich
So now
Bacon
it'll be
Ice Cream Productions.
another 7 months. before we
What
go back.
what do you got?
We want to
Now-
welcome you back to
now
one of the
it's
top
7.
5 Amico
Yeah.
forevers on the
It just
internet. Welcome.
it keeps like it's next thing to be like we were gone for like a year. Bacon Ice Cream Productions. What do you got coming up on your channel?
Oh man, so I have another episode of my series that I recently started called Retro Riches Restorations. That's going to be on Friday. We're doing another Sega Master System game. We're going back in. We had tried one. It didn't work out so well, but we're ready to go. That's right, Intellivision Gamer. Thank you as well.
Mr. Night,
He knows all about those good times because he actually just joined the Good Times Club over at Bacon Ice Cream Productions. So thank you for being a member and pushing us to do big things. But yeah, so that show is Retro Riches Restorations is a journey where I go back in time to where I basically lost everything that I had in my studio and my car and my garage, and I pull that stuff back. I kept some of the stuff that I didn't throw away. Thank you so much, Jacob. That was awesome. That was my favorite video to make, to be honest. That was the favorite video I've ever done on my channel.
not seen that one.
It's a great stuff. The episode's called Old Man is Sequest.
I gotta watch that.
I will cue it.
Guys, gotta watch. I mean,
I gotta watch that
because it's so much fun. It was so much fun. But yeah. So I take stuff that was very, very wet and I try to make it work again. Is the whole concept of Retro Riches Restoration. So new episode on Friday, and Good Times Club members will actually get another episode that's different, that's exclusive to them for the entire week, because that's how we roll at the Good Times Club. So that's where I'm at. So, and then of course Evercast over on my buddy Ed, the Evercade Effect, and Karg tomorrow. I'm gonna get in real big trouble for doing all these live streams, man. But yeah, we got Karg tomorrow night. It's me and Ed over on Calling All Retro Gamers. So yeah, come on over and hang out with us.
Very, very great channel. Great stuff. Oh my God. It's good Sega Master System. Check out the Golden Axe Warrior series. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Good.
Mr. Mike Mullis from the original Next Level Gaming. Take no substitutes. What is coming up on your channel?
Oh, let's see. So, Thursday, tomorrow night, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to stream tomorrow night because I've got a. So Peter and I, HTK and I, and a good friend of ours, Rick Lagnese, he was formerly from Warhorse Studios, if anybody ever played Kingdom Come Deliverance. But now he works for Fextra Life. We're big Ghost Recon guys, so we've been playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I've been streaming it here and there. If I don't do that, I'm going to be streaming some more Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I got to get back to that. Next week, now that we're doing some live Amico streaming, I got to see if Spencer's interested in doing a little Shark this weekend. I'm sure he would love to. So maybe we'll do a little live streaming this weekend. I'll Phil, if you're listening.
He's got like 47 controllers over there.
I know.
Don't tell Mike.
And then next Tuesday, so the plate for I know it's going to put all the people in the chat to sleep, but the PlayStation Showcase was today, and we're going to have a couple folks on next week to talk about it and go over the showcase. So that's pretty much all that's going on. You know, we every once in a while when we can talk about Amico, we do, but most of the stuff that we talk about on our channel is all modern gaming. So Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, even though I hate Nintendo.
PlayStation, right here. This is what Mike talks about all the time. The time. Why are they yellow when they're so new?
Yeah,
I know. It's part of the allure. It's vintage. It's their vintage eggshell white.
Phil
said he's not listening, so don't worry about it. Everything's cool.
That's Sony's wood grain.
I have Jacob. I have not tried Ghostbuster Spirits Unleashed yet, but if it is on MetaQuest 2, I think it is, and I do want to check out. because I don't have a PSVR 2 yet. Now that I had to buy a new car, I can't afford a PSVR 2 anymore.
I'm telling you, Google Cardboard was great.
Yeah.
They gave up too soon.
I want to play
I
Spirits.
liked my PSVR 1. I have PSVR 1.
I have PSVR 1 and I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, not a lot of the games are fully backward compatible on the PS5.
Yeah.
And mine is the original PSVR 1 that is not HDR. So I really don't want to hook it up to my PS5 because I have a very nice TV.
Right.
However, the Meta Quest 2 is a darn good VR headset. It really is. It's solid.
That's cool.
And
I'd
say it has probably 95% of the games PSVR 2 has.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I mean, I've been itching to kind of get back into the VR worlds, especially with either a Quest or a VR 2 because of that Atari game that's coming out. That Pixel Rip 1978 is going to come out in like 2 months or whatever. Whew, man, I want to play that real bad. Nice. They got the 3D glasses. Those are a keeper. Those 3D glasses.
You gotta go to those places in the mall, the little VR places that look so lonely. They just need somebody. Just like, I come over, just get Pixel 1978.
Yeah.
Get some Pixel Quest. I'll be over here every day.
Right.
I want to thank all my panel members. It was great. It's good to be back. I like I said, next week there's a lot more to discuss. Thanks for putting up with my coffee to my throat, and my nose is literally just stuffed up. I got to go blow it. I've either allergies or a summer cold. I don't know what's going on with me, but I feel fine other than nasal. So it's probably more allergies. I've been outside building stuff. So, but anyways, on my channel, 3DO Thursdays will probably switch to another day or be on hold for right now. I am coming out with the DJC show, which is a new show. It may debut on Thursday, and hopefully, I don't know. I'm guessing probably June at this point, but I am going to release another trailer. I thought I'd have something ready, but it's huge. It's a 3-camera show. We're doing skits. It's basically like the Tonight Show meets gaming. So we're going to do live gaming interviews, different topics, different guests. Like I said, we're going to mix drinks at the bar. We're going to sit and interview guests. We're going to have commercials, skits, you name it. So it's a big production, and I wanted to get it out by end of month, but it looks like because of the schedule and everything, it might be probably June. But yeah, the DJC show, look for the trailer. If you haven't joined the channel or any of these wonderful channels, please hit subscribe. Please hit the like buttons on their videos, join their silly clubs if they have one. And I appreciate it. Rab, did you have anything to add? I didn't know.
Channel under construction. I've spent the past month working on Blender and Procreate, working on rotoscoping for a video. So yeah, when people are working on videos, I am having so much fun learning all this stuff and doing all this stuff. And I will get something out to you guys at some point, someday.
At this point, his videos will just simply be AI generated.
Subscribe to them. You guys have 1,000 subs on YouTube. Don't waste it on. There are plenty of places to go watch great stuff.
Yeah, but thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week because it is Amico forever. Take care.
Yeah, gamers.